Well. Greetings, everybody. Why am I out of breath before I start? That doesn't make sense, does it? Anyway, welcome to this week's edition of the Inworld Review. My name is Mal Burns. I'm your major host. On my right-hand side, my co-host, Tosha. Tosha, I've blanked on you. I was about to say Tosha Ember. That doesn't sound right. Okay, Tosha, my co-host. Anyway, I don't know what was going on there. And James, my right-hand man on the right-hand side. He's the one who sits a lot and fiddles with knobs a lot too. The knobs in question, I hasten to add, are to do with video and audio and basically making this program look presentable as a video show as opposed to just avatars talking, as it were, on screen.
Okay.
So,
thanks, Mal.
right. And I'm going to introduce Tosha again because Tosha Tyran. I don't know what my mind blanked there completely. Sorry, Tosha.
Hi, Mel.
Most embarrassing. Okay.
You might as well call me Tosha Amber. It's an honor for me.
Yeah. Tosha Blank. Tosha someone. I always want to make a joke about Thursday, actually. The rising from the embers, as in Phoenix rising from the ashes. So, well, anyway, she's not here, so better not make any jokes on that front. Right. Also, we got two guests with us today. Strangely, everything's sort of rather connected this week. Thursday actually booked. Again, I'm going to get completely puzzled up here. I'm reading it now. Kashi Takeshi. I'll be calling him Kashi, but his full name is Kashi Takeshi. It's a Japanese name, but he lives in Holland, in Europe here. So welcome, Kashi.
Yes, thank you. Nice to be here.
And also Sunny Zah. Right, I'm just calling you Sunny. You're actually, what's your full name avatar again?
Havana.
Susanna. The other bit?
Sunny Savannah. Yep.
Savannah.
Sunny Savannah.
How can I forget?
Yes.
As in
Savannah, like the plains of Africa.
Exactly. Why did I forget that?
Thanks for having me.
So appropriate. Yeah. So we'll be getting to that. Basically, Kashi runs the grid, which is called Virtual World Zone, but it's actually a sort of grid with lots of regions in it. And 3 of those regions are actually Sunny's regions, the principal one, the principal one being the Africa one, but they're also connected. And so we'll be flowing into that too. And by sheer coincidence, if you go on our Hypergrid safaris, which we'll talk about briefly in a second, this week's second stop will be on the Africa sim of Sunny's. So you get 2 for the price of 1 if you're free on Wednesday. Yeah. So it all sort of ties together. And by the way, the other safari stop this week, the first stop, will be at Safari's own clubhouse, but it's a new clubhouse. It's got a new grid all of its own. And I think you're going to be meeting at the old clubhouse and then teleporting as a group to new clubhouse, and then on to Africa afterwards.
I was there already, had a sneak preview, and I'm a resident there.
I am too.
And I can just tell you, it is lovely.
Yeah.
I mean, I really love it. It's very beautiful. Thirsa and Snow really did a great job there.
Yeah. And we're building a new HIE area there too, which is obviously that's a year away, but sort of doing a good job on that. Yeah, they worked it very quickly, especially Thursday. And actually, if you just give away something, but if you get there and you move your camera into the air, so you're looking down on the whole region.
Oh, yeah.
You have to rotate your camera a little bit, but you'll realize that the whole sim in the water is the shape of an elephant.
Yeah, so that is so funny.
That will appeal to you, Sunny, as well.
Great idea, yes.
Yeah,
That's
and of course,
really beautiful.
The safari texture has always been, I guess it's a giraffe texture,
Yes.
isn't it? She has everywhere. So
Cool.
Okay, so before we get on to our sort of chat about what we're here to chat about, basically, as I said, this show looks at well, I didn't say, that's the point. We look at arts, people, and places on OpenSim. And OpenSim, for those of you who don't know, is a networking system by which thousands of OpenSim virtual worlds are actually linked together. Think of like thousands of different Second Lives all joined together where you can jump between them. If you don't know what Second Life is, well, that can wait for another day, but it's a walled garden, whereas here it's the open world, so to speak. So every Wednesday, my former co-host here, Professor Ember, runs a thing called Hypergrid Safari. And I'm just going to move to our middle screen here for a bit of news on that and other things. She has a blog. The address is hgsafari.blogspot.com. And she reports on the safaris every week, but also any other pertinent news as well. The exception to that this week is I've got the screen up right now. Bit boring as just a reader text. Maria Koloff, who also used to be involved with this show many moons ago, has her report at her site called Hypergrid Business. All-time high in OpenSim users, despite a third rock grid closing. And yeah, she probably first few paragraphs are about herself, of course. She specializes in these graphs and things like that. What is actually the most astonishing thing now is that OS Grid is still the largest land area, but Wolf Territories Grid is now the second, with and Wolf Territories is the most active with over 6,232 unique logins.
Awesome.
Wow, that's really awesome.
Yeah, and there's a lot of stuff to be found there. And they just yesterday, and I think maybe a bit today, they've been holding a sort of little festival conference over there too, which unfortunately I haven't made, though we did actually go to a preview of it on Safari in the week. So here we go. Another blog from the week on Thursday, the Weekend Wolf Fest, basically. We just went to see the place where it was being held. Thursday interviews Lone Wolf and everything else like that. And of course, as usual, I can make an instant slideshow. Well, I thought I could. There we, oh, it's taking as well, isn't it? Is it working? It's not working today. Oh, okay. Well, we'll have to find another way of doing that. For some reason, usually when I click on pictures, it creates a slideshow, but it's not having any this day. Okay, well that's tough because I'm
and Lone Wolf is the grid owner, is that right?
Yeah, Lone Wolf is the grid owner of Wolf.
He's the founder and the grid owner.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we've had him on the show and things. And OSCC last year, he uses a lot of unique tech to him to get things running and things up and down quick. So it's quite fascinating what he's doing there. And in a way, it's no surprise. But what I do find astonishing is, clever though it is, just the speed with which it's run into second place. You know, if it overtakes OS Grid, something's going to be weird. Yeah. Another post from Thursday here. This one is about Neverworld, and this is definitely in a funny mood today, isn't it? I hope she hasn't hijacked my picture shows. Okay, something funny here. It normally works fine, but it's not. Okay, basically, this is a post about a rebuild of various places in a grid called Neverworld, and just reporting on that. And the other Safari visit was Unforgettable Amnesia. This one I didn't manage to get to, unfortunately. There was some, as she mentions in the blog here, there was some glitch where people had OS Grid avatars and others weren't actually able to get in, but others were. James, for example, did make it, and he was there with an OS Grid avatar. So who knows? But quite a few of us got literally locked out. So we were told that we were actually, the excuse was we were using the wrong version of Firestorm, but since we all had the latest one, That didn't make sense either. Anyway,
Really, James. One thing has to be said: in virtual worlds, there are more wonders and more magic than between Earth and sky and heaven. Or you know, there really everything can happen there. You know, so as well positive as also negative things.
The other report says it's included in Hypergrid Safari blogspot again is the Science Circle. D, she says. The grid is actually offline, possibly for good, and it's a shame because it was such a nice grid, etc., etc. And the slideshow worked fine earlier. I don't know why it doesn't work fine anymore. I think Safari is updated or something. Its my system doesn't work. Anyway, it must have something to do with that as well. No, I don't think so. Oh, yes, it does. Right, here we go. So these are just some brief pictures of the Science Circle grid, which may or may not come back.
Yeah, maybe it will, but it did exist for more than 13 years, I think.
Oh, yeah, and it's big. It comes out of a similar one in Second Life too. So there's James sitting. This is I can see both of us sitting there. This was on. I think we're all sitting there. It's James, then Tosha, then me.
They are still debating.
Yeah, and so it's just dug up some pictures from old blogs, basically, that illustrated a bit. It may be that I can now get back to this one. Better late than never. The slideshow works again. I don't know what the heck that is. So James and Tosha and I, were either of you guys at Safari this week? I know you do come down again.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I will definitely. I did not go last week for for the death of my poor dog. I was not able to do anything else. But
I know it's so awful, isn't it?
Yeah.
I was saying earlier, I feel more emotionally disturbed by news of that kind of thing than I do about humans.
Well, he leaves a big hole in my life, really. And sharing your life for so many years with a dog, with a creature.
He's part of the family, yeah?
Oh,
yeah, cool. Yeah. And I'm living alone. I only had my dog with me, and it seems my bed's too big without him now. And I have no one anymore to share my French fries with.
French fries. Ooh.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, so no reason dogs can't like French fries. Some dogs could eat anything, weren't they? Actually,
we both love them, and loved them, and so we always share them.
This is the region in Wolf Territories that was holding this event yesterday, and I think this morning too. But obviously, there's very little actually happening when Safari was there. We were just looking around the builds, but there's some lovely stuff there, mini versions, and there is Wolf, Loon Wolf himself, busy typing in thin air. Why not? And there we are, of course, and
busy.
Oh right, this is he had a transport system there, which I think I was too busy filming somewhere else to really get into that to the end. But Wolf again. The one thing I was impressed with, which I guess we're getting into it now. There's one picture, I think it's here. I certainly got one of my own, which no, it's not here. But this wonderful background, he had the fireworks going off in one part, but there were like twin moons and planets in the sky, and it was all lit with this a bit like the lighting on those half moon sculptures you see there. It was absolutely great. But I got it on film, but we haven't got it here. So, and as I say, the other post here was about Neverworld.
Also a great grid. Very nice regions.
And I've never been.
Yeah. Oh yeah, there's they've got quite a lot of regions there. They're not the biggest, but they do have some rather unique ones.
Yes.
So these are just general pictures from around the grid there.
Nice.
I remember we went on that one time. Goes up and racing all over.
Oh, the racing track.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I just think I'm getting
Wonderful.
confused with the other.
Wonderful. That was so much fun.
There was another one that went even higher than this one, actually, that
Mm.
went through whole lots of different environments. So quite a lot of ingenuity there. Unfortunately, I couldn't really appreciate it because my ability to drive a car, especially in the virtual world, is disaster zone. You know, yeah, I crash every time I raise a finger to the mouse. I crash into something, and it takes me another half hour to get out of the mess I've made. That's spooky. That one, spooky old hall. And yeah, that's it for that. And yeah, Hypergrid business. Right. Okay, well, I'm putting all those away. And so that's the latest news. Possibly the end of Science Grid and whatever. But we'll find out more. And you can always check out Hypergrid Safari. hgsafari.blogspot.com for Thursday's blog and more details, transcripts of conversations and stuff there as well. So moving into the main thing here, really. Sorry. I did have some film of Wolffest, and since this again was the safari trip, the only reason I'm plodding around like this is to try and find the shot, which I thought was absolutely wonderful of this. But you can tell the sky is there, but where the moon's gone. Just at one angle, you just see amazing array in the sky. Never mind, it's not going to happen. So let's move into virtual worlds zone. Okay, now I've got about three clips of this, one of which moves into Africa. So this the first one's a 4-minute one. I'm going to run this in the background while I get Kashi to talk to us generally about the grid. And in fact, then I'll run the second clip too, and we'll follow that with some pictures that Kashi's brought with him as well before we move on to Africa. So I'll get this one running. It's completely silent. It's designed to be something we just run while we're talking over it. And yes, it is moving. I'm a bit worried there. So if we see anything behind you on the screen, Kashi, do mention it. But what's the origin of the grid? Were you in like the other place before you came here? And how long have you been at the other place? And how long have you been doing it? How long has it been up?
It actually started with a region I started in Theta World, and that was called Haiwa. It's a Japanese region that I started. And at a certain time, I was thinking, okay, why not set up a grid? And at the 24th of August in 2020, I started the grid. So almost 4 years now. And it runs. It's a nice little grid, non-commercial. So I did not want to make it a big grid, but just a little grid with nice residents, and it's you can't make an avatar over there. Only people that are already living there can invite somebody they know. It's good and can contribute to the OpenSim community in a way. Making nice art, the regions where people can walk around and enjoy virtual. So and that's what I did.
This, by the way, is your landing zone. And
yes.
I changed the wind light because it actually looks lovely with the dedicated lighting, but it didn't look very easy to film. I couldn't see my way through the trees, so I made it regular. But this board is all the regions people can go to, like I've just done here.
Yeah, it's a bit dark indeed with a light lighting set to the region.
I did teleport around at random here, by the way, so I've no idea where the name of the region I ended up here. But
this is Ocean 13, and that's a little
again. Yeah,
that's a little grid where you have a beach themed region. So also public.
Some of the texture didn't res here. That's really my fault for being in a hurry, as usual.
Oh, no problem.
But looks you can get the pretty much the look of it there. And yeah, nice architecture, that building. So.
Yes, love that one. Great for beaches.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a short one. That was only 4 minutes. So where's my next one? The next one is number 2. Oh, this is 10 minutes long. Now, no, it's not cherry mango.
No, I think
this is Ada Radius, isn't it? And they got very similar styles. This region is this just Ada's region, or is it?
is Avia Bonus region.
Oh,
And yeah,
yeah.
she makes this just as beautiful site as Cherry does, and yeah, I did tell you before. Maybe Cherry in the future will also join us. I offered her a region because I love Avia's and Cherry's regions. Yeah, the most in OpenSim. I think they are art pieces. So Avia got I think 6 regions at the virtual world zone, and the last one is an art gallery where all kinds of people artists in OpenSim did their artificial intelligence work, and there are also some hand drawings. But yeah, it's a nice collection of art. And she also got a region Bloom, Dinky Town, Golden Age, Vintage Garden, and Wonderland Madness. Great regions.
I didn't get everywhere, but I did get to Dinkyland.
You should take some time and make sure the wind light setting, the settings of the environment are set to shared environment, because you didn't do it here, and it's a very nice golden setting. It's cool.
Sort of like the difference of when you're wandering around on foot, you take things in a very different way. Whereas I do when I think of just rough footage from the sky, But so you can see clearly sometimes when you've got too much psychedelics and things going on, you think, don't quite see that properly. Some interesting stuff here. The other problem is when the camera's on, you don't want to pause to actually change all the settings and everything. You have to bring your interface up and do all that stuff. So, that is a lovely golden. So
it's perfect to enter the region, set the settings, the environment settings, okay, and let it rest. Overall taken, it's quite fast because all the regions are running on fast servers. So. Some technical specs, the grid server is running in Germany, and it works on an i9 Intel CPU with a lot of memory and NVMe disks, so it's quite fast. And the region servers are running on 2 servers hosted in the Netherlands, so also fast. So.
And am I thinking you're running Linux too, not Windows or Mac? Is it Linux?
I like
your viewers.
Like Lone, we both love Linux, and we are. I'm not using a shell. Everything is command line interface, and I'm a bit greedy with resources, because if you are using a graphical user interface, then a lot goes to the graphical user interface, and we can use that for the region and the grid server, etc. So for regions. So yes, Linux it is.
Anything but Windows is what we say. Especially if it's got a USB port that doesn't work.
Indeed.
Yes, the endless saga there. Yeah, I really took to this area. I must admit, you can tell the time I spent there. Maybe rushing around a bit, but I should go back at some point and take some film of with the working a different way, actually sitting there with the settings you want. So it looks like I'm about to choose another. This is like closing your eyes and putting a pin in a map.
Mhm.
I have no idea where
Yeah.
I'm going, but obviously
Yeah, I'm updating the board at the moment because some regions, did left us,
Mm.
and there are also some regions added. So I will update it soon, and the website will also have an update. In a month or so.
Mm.
I have
This is also a great region, Alvia made.
right. Okay. Oh yes, when I was on the time,
Yeah.
I mean dinghies. Yeah. Yes, I love it's a catastrophe with chairs.
You
What-
can you
What
can
is this
try.
one called?
It's another bit of. Yeah, I think that was a building I couldn't get into with the camera. Nice trees there. I have some a bit like that, but
It looks really very interesting, I must say.
Yeah, I
just
see.
the half moon.
Her designs are very nice, very
Yeah.
detailed, and it looks great. I think this is a dinky town indeed, and you can get the
Yes, Dinky
dinkies.
Town. Yes.
I think API was one of the first that started with the dinkies in OpenSim. And she made clothing and etc. I think White Angel of Sacrarium also helped some here, and after some weeks or months or so, every grid started to use dinkies, and it became very popular. So
Yeah.
it's
I love the
quite
rabbits on
cute.
the wardrobe. Sorry, I've got.
Yeah.
It's gone now. So very. Yeah, it has a bit of an Alice feeling to it. I suppose it's the checkerboards and
Definitely, yes.
the rabbits and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Wonderland.
Oh, and guess who?
Yes. Yeah.
Real classic Snoopy.
Oh, my
Snoopy
favorite
Corner.
family.
Snoopy is one of her favorites. So
Yes.
Of
Very-
mine too.
very
Snoopy
cute.
and the whole family around him, all friends around him.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
find them so cute.
It's cool.
And the elephant. Well, elephants go anywhere, I suppose. Yeah, the train station.
Yeah. I think this is a little shop where she offers some things she made. So and
Yeah, I don't know whether those.
teleport board.
Right. Oh, I don't know. I thought I got the impression they were just pictures that you could buy, but I might be wrong. I mean, again, I'm focusing on filming rather than clicking.
Yes. But also use the environment settings from the region.
Looks like
So-
that horse has done something to
Yeah.
that tree.
Something happened.
Seems stuck in the tree.
Yeah, not quite right there. Yeah. Oh, it's lovely, these characters. More elephants.
Yeah. And dinkies.
Yes, you could. When you're filming or photographing dinkies, it's all down to context because they are small, like tinies. But you
Yes.
don't realise that unless there's something bigger standing next to them.
Yeah.
And all these buildings are obviously made for the dinkies themselves, rather full-size grown-up avatar, for want of a better expression. Yeah, very. This I found odd. It's interesting.
Yeah.
Geometric, sort of everything the same, very suburban-looking streets, although the buildings are lovely. It's like when suburban areas when you're walking down the street and you really don't know, apart from the number on the house, you wouldn't know. You can't tell them apart. Yeah. Although these actually have some interesting things on the outside to tell them apart a bit.
Yeah, these are little shops where you can get all kinds of dinky stuff. So nice, detailed region, like the others, and a Dutch flag, of course.
Of course.
Only it's upside down for the people. Some people notice it, but it's a protest against the political situation that's
Farmers.
going on.
Yeah,
Indeed, the farmers.
they used to do that with the Stars and Stripes in America, didn't they? Too. So
Yes.
the protesting was where they put it upside down and hope somebody would take
The
that.
Stars and Stripes is not only a protest, but it's also in case of emergency. You know,
Indeed.
something happens in your house and you hiss the flag upside down, and then
No.
somebody will hopefully come to help you.
It was also used at sea when there was an issue going on. Then the flags were turned around, so other boats could
SOS.
see. It's
Well, I never.
So yes.
Yeah.
But now lately it has turned more and more a thing of protest. You know,
It's a more a protest indeed now.
Yeah, I think Mr. Trump's the only one that holds it the right way up anymore. Shouldn't say that, should we? Right. So that's the end of that one. Right. Have a little interlude here. The next bit of footage I've got starts with a couple of your regions, and then we arrive in Africa about halfway through. So that's our sort of segue. So I think this might be a good chance for us to swap to the slides that you brought, Kashi, which are on the right-hand side for the benefit of James mostly. And basically, you can talk us through the slides. Tell us, this is your own choice of places on the grid. So maybe go through them and tell us why you like them so much and what they represent, where they are, what there is. Anything you want to say, really, under your slides.
Yeah, I could fill more than an hour with all those slides, but I basically shot what I was thinking. It was cool. This is the virtual world. It's also made by Avia, and it's the virtual world zone art gallery. And I think, if I'm right, there were about 15 or 20 artists in OpenSim that made hand drawings or also a lot of AI generated. Some people say you can't call it art, but okay, that's a discussion that still goes on.
That's an endless discussion everywhere.
Yeah, indeed.
She likes her clocks, doesn't she? I'll say that.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah.
Some of I've just realized, credit where credit's due, unless I got something awfully wrong, some of the elements that we had at the Hypergrid International Expo build, like cogwheels and clocks and things, they were originally designed by Avia, I'm pretty sure. And we integrated, we weren't able to use an idea she came up with. I forget why, it was to do with regions and stuff. But a lot of the elements we integrated into the build there. The old one, of course, we've got a new one now. But yeah, that's very, very telling, the clockwork and the clocks, you know.
Yes, yeah. Avia did a lot of work for many years all over OpenSim. So you can find a lot of her work still in several places. So, but this is the virtual world zone art gallery, and it's cool to visit because the interior is also made by Avia, and it's it displays all the artists that worked along their work, of course, and it's nice to visit, and you see at the moment the environment settings here are set on. So every region she makes, it's consistent with the colors on the region. So that's very nice detail. So this is another. The Wonderland Madness. It's about Alice in Wonderland. You start in the little house over there, and when you walk out, you see before the house a black hole, and you fall into the black hole. You fall down, and it's you should make a recording of that because it's quite nice to see how it's set up, and you end up downstairs. And there you got a little village, and Alice is walking around, and all kinds of figures that you can see find back into the Alice in Wonderland movie. Or so here's the Bad Queen. So she is yelling at at the big mouse, I think.
I feel like I've seen a lot of Alice kind of theme builds. I don't know. Well,
Yes.
I suspect they were actually in the other place.
Cherry Manga did also a version,
yes, of course.
and that was in Franco Grid.
Yeah,
And
it had multiple layers where the story
and that was also an artwork. It was great to visit. And at sometimes I'm not sure what happened. I think there was an upgrade, and that upgrade broke every script in the region. So it was really a shame. So but okay, it happened. But it was never repaired. But it should be brought back in old glory, because it was one of the greatest regions Cherry made.
And it's lovely, that sign as well, you know, it's sort of got all the, well, it's probably just transparent brim. I mean, it just looks very, you can imagine it's metal or something, you know.
Yeah, Wonderland.
Very nice.
Okay. This is another region, I think, if I'm right, this is Vintage Garden. Also very cool. And like I said, I should have made some more pictures about each region, because I just made a snapshot of some. But it gives an idea on the regions, and you also see here the environment settings. It's consistent with.
I'm sure we can arrange another show at a later point on various other, you know, not like we've got Africa today, but you know, some, you know, spend a bit more work on filming and photographing particular regions.
Yeah, would be cool to highlight the regions you made. So this is one region I'm working on. It's called Gaia, and it's a new region, and it never finishes because I'm now working for a year or maybe less, but for a year I'm working on it. So, but you know, real life can be demanding. So.
I had an offline region where it was on. It used OpenSim thing on old computer. It's a 5x5 file region, you know. But it started off as a 3x. It was a 3x3. Then I built more, and it came 4x4, and then a 5x5. The north and west coast were increasingly, and it's offline now. I mean, it would have ended up being too big. You know, I didn't have the patience to sit around in a small area and, you know, delicate work. I was up in the sky, raising mountains and doing that sort of stuff.
I still work on it.
I know what it's like when you start, and you know, you never know quite when it's going to finish, if it does.
And I also discussed it with Sunshine before. A region never finishes. So when I'm in the mood. Sorry, Sunshine.
Always in progress.
Indeed. And you find something new, and you are thinking, "Oh, cool! That is nice to art or to replace something that you already arted." So it's nice. Another shot from another angle. So, and this one is Haiwa. We had a safari tour, I think, a year ago now.
Yeah, I remember.
And it was quite.
That was great.
A lot of people visited, and. This is the region I started at Zeta Worlds, and then decided to make my own grid, and nice people joined.
It's just occurred to me, we did go to a couple of Japanese, well, more than a few Japanese places.
I collected I started with one Japanese house, and with the help of a lot of people around OpenSim, I could get everything that you see now, and it's a little part of the village. It's a little village, Japanese village.
Kashi, we met when I found that first version of your sim on another grid or something like that.
It was Zeta Worlds indeed.
Yes, I was looking at the meditation related sims and so on.
Yes. I recall.
That's how I came across Kashi's place, and we are still busy with projects.
Yes, very nice.
Wonderful. Yeah. The beauty of virtual worlds and the collisions you make. Yeah, it's wonderful.
But like the other region, I'm still working on that. I want to add parts, and I collected some new buildings. I just helped Chichi from, I think, she's at the OS Grid now, I think. She also made a great region, and I just gave her some stuff she can use. So, like I collected everything and people helped me, I like to share everything that's on that region with others. So, yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah. Sharing is caring, eh?
That's true.
For sure.
Yeah.
So let's move on. There's quite a few slides to go. Yeah. Okay.
This is a little place, Ty Fane's home. Actually, she is also a resident of the Virtual Worlds Zone Grid, and yeah, it's her private place, but she can make great beach themed regions. So, and she works a lot here, scripting, making things, and she also loves to contribute to the open sim community, and I think a lot of people know her. Now, this is the region Island Dreams. Misbehave made 2 regions. It's kind of beach themed also. So, and she made a lot of places where people can sit, chill, and do all kinds of things, surfing, boating, sailing, etc. So it's also a cool region, and that's one of the goals of the Virtual World Zone, that people can enjoy nice built regions, and also chill, because actually OpenSim is a social platform, and we got a very nice 3-dimensional world around it, and I think it's way better than Facebook. So,
no comparison whatsoever.
It is Mare Nostrum, and I totally forgot.
Feels like Italy, actually. I don't know why.
Yeah, it's an Italian guy that is building this region, and he does not go fast, but what he does is very nice. So it's also, I will replace the board quite soon. So, and then all the regions that are new, and and the ones that passed away. Maybe that's wrong.
always happens, doesn't it?
Indeed, people move to other grids or stop. They want to stop in OpenSim or etc. So this is also a part of the region he did make. So this is. Let me check. Yeah, this is of course the work of Avia, and this is the region called Golden Age. And
yes, I saw that on the board. I don't think I ever got to this one.
I think you went here, but
of course.
You did not set the wind loud to set the environment settings.
Exactly. This is one of the ones where, as you say, it makes all the difference.
Yeah, it makes a lot of difference, because it's looking very, very cool. So,
it'd be almost where I just imagine sort of going to photograph a region and then trying it out in, maybe making a gallery of 50 pictures, which are exactly the same photograph but filmed in different lighting.
Indeed, yeah, and every angle is different. So, and that's the nice thing of these regions. If you go there and walk around or fly around, I think you are allowed to fly also. So, it's great. So.
One trick I use on Safari sometimes is I grab footage by, let's say we were visiting you and you were guiding us around, a region or teleporting. I would lock my camera on you and just follow you at ground level. And it tends to go a bit slow because, when you're plodding along with your avatar and guiding a group, it's another thing. But visually, it brings a different experience to it, the feeling like you're walking through the environment. And hearing it, of course, if it's got nice sounds.
Indeed. That's also a cool dimension, of course, vision and sound. So, and I think it's best to walk across a region because then, yeah, you see all the little details, and from the air, yeah, whoosh, and you are at the end of the parcel or region. So, this is also a resident that lives at the virtual world zone grid, Diamond. He is quite nice in making nature regions also.
Yes, I love that.
So,
yeah, I'm always being criticised for falling in love with anything that's landscape and walking
yes,
around
me
in
too.
natural
Yeah.
environments. Teleport me into a city and I'm bored. That's the polite word.
Indeed. Yeah. Some are very nice, but overall taken, I like the nature sims also. So this is one of the regions of Avia that you showed in the beginning, the Dinky region.
Right, of course.
Yeah, it's quite fun.
There was actually an animated unicorn I came across at some point as well. I forget where it was.
Yeah, could be. Yeah.
And and there we are.
There we are indeed. Yeah. Like I said, I should shot some more, but.
All right. Well, I'm going to move to a final bit of footage. This is only going to last about 2 minutes because after 2 minutes it fades into Africa. But I'm sure Safari came to this particular jazz club, and I filmed it before for something.
Yes.
So it's called All That Jazz, and we were talking earlier on about my ability to have jazz playing in the background everywhere. We did turn it off for the show, but so basically this, we'll talk through this. Did you build this club, or is this one of your
Yes, I think I built it a year and a half ago, and I'm still planning to DJ jazz music over there. And Sunshine also got some great African jazz. So we actually should make an appointment and schedule it, and then DJ some jazz. I think a lot of people love jazz music, and there is a lot of techno, deep house, etc. in OpenSim, but no
for
jazz.
some variety.
Yeah, I mean, it's nice. I like jazz and I like blues, so it's really nice to come across those two in the virtual world, as opposed to just the disco stuff and everything else. This is the bit where I'm messing around on the board trying to decide where to go. Ultimately, guess what? I'm going to choose Africa.
Before you do, Mel, I would like to ask something.
Sure.
Dashi something. I've noticed that you seem to have a great, liking for Japanese things.
Yes.
You're outfitted. Also, some of your builds. Can I ask you why and how you got to that?
I dislike
what it means to you.
Yes, I dislike the new culture in Japan. Not so much the culture, but the buildings, etc. They are all high tech and modern, but I do love the old Japanese way of living and the building style, the architecture of everything, and it's great. So I started with one house and I was like, okay, this looks very cool. I love this way. So I was thinking, okay, why not build a complete village? And that was a little problem because I only had one house in my inventory. So and in time, I think in 7-8 months or so, I collected a lot of buildings, and the village started to look like a real Japanese village. So I got some NPCs from YoGrid, the Japanese grid. I went there often and talked with people because they I think a couple of years ago they had a meeting at each Wednesday, and it was in Japanese. But when I visited, they used translators and tried to talk English.
YoGrid.
YoGrid, yes.
Yeah. Yes, that's right.
Yeah, it still exists, It's not quite active, but yeah, you can also find a lot of nice places over there, and buildings, of course. So yeah.
But let's say the Japanese, I don't know how to say it, but like way of life also means a certain philosophy. Is that
Indeed.
something that appeals to you especially, Kashi?
Yes, it's more yeah, meditating, controlled, and yeah, back to nature thing. And that's the difference with the Japan nowadays. It's all going so fast, and yeah, the modern things. Some things are very cool, of course, because I like progression and yeah, it's an evolution, of course. But yeah, the old ways are yeah, more down to earth. Maybe is the right way to say it.
And have you ever been in real life now? Ever been to Japan yourself?
No, it's on the
Oh,
bucket list, and I hope,
okay.
yeah, maybe to go there once.
Uh,
But I think it would be very cool to visit older style villages.
yeah, yeah.
So
And another question I have: do you build yourself also some of the buildings, or you just collect them and put them in places?
overall, I do modify some buildings, and some I take parts, yeah, some parts, and then I'm a prim builder, so not
Oh
a mesh
yeah,
builder, so I don't work with
oh yeah,
Blender.
oh
So,
yeah.
but I use items I got in World, and then I sometimes adjust them and make them, yeah, fitting to my needs and likings.
Mm. Okay.
Something, while we're on the topic, just before we move on, there's a park near me in Kensington here called Holland Park, and inside it they have a Japanese garden.
Yes, yeah, I heard
And,
about it.
yeah, I love it. I haven't got I could show you photos if they were loaded, but what's nice about it is it's like a little lake and islands and things. It looks like what I might see from the sky in a virtual world. It's like a miniature world. So, when I look at the garden with the lake in the middle, it's like I'm looking out over a sea or an ocean in miniature, and the edges of the lake are actually terraformed is probably the wrong word, but they've been made, to look like genuine coastlines, and the ambience, something that Tosha was hinting at with her question there, is very particular. I absolutely adore it. There's a big waterfall feeding the lake too, and a bridge over there. And very serene. But it's a very particular way of landscaping that the Japanese do. I've never seen anything quite like it. And, it almost makes you think of a sim, because if you zoom out far enough, you've got this lake and in the middle and then the land around it. And, you can obviously there's no miniature houses or anything in there, but there's wildlife and stuff. It's just got that feeling to it. So yeah, I'd love to see something like that built here too. Anyway, I'm going to start up the film again. So
nice new project, Mel.
Yeah, won't get me to do it. I'll just mess it up completely. But anyway, I'm going to start the film again because this is the point at which I'm still. I think I'm just still randomly flying around, but actually I've just landed in Africa, and after I'd done a bit of filming, of course, we met up. So yeah, this reminded me of quick. This is a reference guide. Maybe you should take over here, Sonny. I mean, I didn't get any close-ups of those reference guides, but is there a sort of educational side to this as well?
Yeah, so basically, I have a different approach as opposed to Avia or Cherry or the others that work on an artistic angle. So my spaces basically are there for people to learn more about a specific topic. That's the focus, not as much. Basically, what I did here, when I first entered OpenSim, I came across the Virunga sim of Fred. What's his name? Fred.
Yeah, Beckhausen, I think is. Yeah,
Yes,
he's
and
got
he
so.
has this amazing setup there that introduces you to Virunga and
That's
goes
true.
through this
Yeah.
story of Dian Fossey and the gorillas. And I was quite happy to see that because I was sitting happy to see something Africa related in OpenSim. I thought no one knew about Africa or not much in this world. And some of the things I could actually take from there and decided, okay, I'm going to start my own little African environment. And that's how it all started. And I sort of always had a few huts, a few textures and things in my inventory as I was hopping around from one grid to another in the hypergrid. And as you heard previously, I came across Kashi one day, and somehow I lost my SIM on another grid because there were some tech problems and so on. And so I was complaining to Kashi that what will I do? I don't have a SIM now. What would be the best solution? And Kashi offered me a SIM actually, so that I could play around. And yeah, I was so thankful and happy about that at that time. And so that's how it all started. And basically, the idea is that there are different locations on the Africa Sim, and they all tell you about something. For example, there is a jazz club because I love South African jazz. And I thought most people don't really know much about that specific kind of jazz. And so I decided to create a jazz club. And on the wall of the jazz club, you can click on each image that will play a YouTube video of an example song. Yeah, that's the club. And this is called the Kippies Jazz Club. And there is actually a Kippies Jazz Club in Johannesburg.
Oh, right.
And so it is based on that idea. And if you zoom around on the walls, you will see on the other side images of artists. Yes, now it's getting, that's it. So there you can see some images of singers and jazz artists, and you can click on them to learn more about their music.
Oh, cool.
And yeah, so this way you can get used to a different style of jazz, as well as when you go to the jazz club, it has its own stream. So it has a dedicated music stream, and it plays South African jazz 24/7. So if you are into that, you can save that link for yourself and you can tune in anytime.
Very cool.
Yes, very nice music.
Make a point of getting that actually. Yeah.
And the rest of the sim basically has its own dedicated stream, which plays a selection of music from all over Africa. So I went to musical high school, so I'm very keen on learning all kinds of different types of music or learn about different styles, and especially Africa is has abundant. That you see now is African brewery. That's teaching you about basically how to brew African beer. I don't know if you code that, but anyway, you can check later on if you want to visit. So anyways, about the jazz, so if you go to the jazz club, then you can hear a dedicated stream for South African jazz, and then otherwise you can hear a selection of African music from all over the continent. West Africa, East Africa mainly, and of course Southern Africa.
Wonderful. Oh, I know that.
So, and the idea is really not so much to make this build perfect.
Oh, the blues. Blues
to
hut.
give you an idea. Oh yes, the blues hut is another musical build. It is designed to introduce you to the blues from Mali, from West Africa, and the music of Ali Farka Touré.
Oh yeah.
And his son Vieux Farka Touré, and others. So that's another little stop there on the seam that will teach you about African blues. And
James, I know you're probably monitoring the channel. I don't know, any questions coming in from YouTube, or is there anybody there today, or have you got any questions?
No, I'm doing fine. We had a sympathetic awe for Tosha's puppy, so from people in the audience, but otherwise doing
go
fine.
ahead.
Yep.
Okay.
Well, Sunny, it looks really interesting. I'm really looking forward to Wednesday. I mean,
yes, it's basically
it's a
my
very
way
new
of
aspect to to see about Africa, not only savanna and wildlife, but the culture, the music thing.
Yes.
I think that's really interesting.
So it's basically my way of expressing my experiences in general, and when it comes to music or wildlife or different patterns of different tribes. For example, there is a dedicated area for the Ndebele tribe in Southern Africa, and that can teach you a little bit about the type of patterns that they use and maybe the meaning behind the pattern, for example. I'd like to do the same for the Bogolan fabric of Western Africa, or Mali specifically. And people can use some of those ideas and create their own designs. So I hope.
It's about culture, music, and it's very educational. So
so it's more, the focus is more on education and information, and hopefully with time there will be more quality when it comes to the designs.
I think the quality. I think the quality is great. So I love it.
As far as I can see it, I would say so too. It looks really very well.
Yes.
Well done. May I ask you, Sunny, are you South African?
Yeah, actually, I'm from Hungary, so that's quite confusing to most people.
Yeah. Wow. But
yes,
you live in South Africa.
I moved to South Africa in '97, and so I spent many years until 2021 in South Africa, and then I moved to the UK. So so I don't really know about all the changes during this time in Hungary, because I spent time in South Africa. So
so you're a traveler.
Yeah, so this is my way of sort of expressing my experiences as I travel. Basically, you could say that, and I find this method of self-expression very useful.
You're doing it well.
It expresses to me also a little bit of homesickness. Could that be? I mean, homesickness to South Africa now that you're living in UK.
Yeah, definitely. It's not easy to get used to a new environment and so on. And there's so many experiences that we definitely miss. And we are going back definitely in December. So we will try to make sure that we are present in both places, in the UK as well as there.
Africa is beautiful, of course.
I should also point out the reason I paused this film, by the way, is that my camera has moved to another region, which is yours too, called Shanti, I think it is. And the giveaway here is you've got the Buddha statue by that tree, because this, is this the one that's actually mostly based on India?
Yeah, so my interests are mainly focusing on Africa and also India, and that's another aspect that I like to. Okay, now I see you showing Shanti. So Shanti means peace, actually, and I decided to create a space there where people can take it slow. And my interest for India, it started when I was still back in musical high school, where we used to have a band. You can't call it a band. It was someone who played the sitar, and he had a kind of Indian music club that I could go to every Monday back in Budapest, and they didn't only play Indian ragas, but they also spent a lot of time teaching how to play the sitar and tablas, and told us all about. There you can see.
Did you learn it to play the sitar and the tablas?
Actually, I never got down to it. I was just too busy with too many things. There you see photos of India that were taken by Shen. I'm sure you know Shen Tao.
Yes.
Who has another sim on our grid called Tonglen.
Very cool.
And he's from France, and he has different builds all over the grid, all over the hypergrid. So, and he agreed to show some of his photos that he took recently on his visit to India. There you can see little corner where you can learn how to create rangoli designs, which is it's like a mandala kind of design and very colorful. And in India, they use colored sand to yes, a colored sand to draw these designs during Diwali, the Diwali celebrations.
Yeah, the colorful feast.
Yes, very colorful. And so you can, if you visit Shanti, which is a little bit sort of under construction at the moment, you can learn all about how to make your own rangolis, for example.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
I got a final bit of film, which I'll run in a minute, but of course you too have brought some of your own slides. So I think maybe we'll switch to the left-hand screen where we put your slides, and you can sort of know how to click forward and talk us through them, maybe.
Okay, I can do so.
Yeah.
Okay, can you see this specific one?
Yeah, it's a house. Yes, it's a
house with colorful patterns on it.
Yeah.
Okay, this is a location on the Africa sim. So I have 3 sims on Kashi's grid. One is Africa, the other is Shanti, that is more India related, and I have a 3rd sim called Sun Vibes, which is I can tell you a bit later. So
yeah,
this
we will see that in the final bit of film as well. So.
Yeah. So this is basically what I call Ndebele land, and it's basically one of the many tribes of South Africa, and you can basically learn about the patterns the beautiful Ndebele patterns that they use on the houses and clothes and pottery and so on. So it is designed to introduce you to those patterns and a bit about the Ndebele culture and Ndebele way of life, basically. So that's one little corner that I work on. I'm still at the beginning of sort of discovering more about these patterns. It tells a story.
Ah, right.
Next,
Back in Africa.
you can see just a very African scene. And I just love this corner with the hippos at the back.
Yeah,
and,
I love the hippos. That was the first thing I
yeah,
wasn't in water.
when I am homesick when it comes to missing Africa, then I just stand around next to these elephants and enjoy the view.
I must say that when you, of course, there's African elephants and there's Indian elephants too. Have you got elephants in both, or is it just elephants per se?
I don't actually know the exact difference between the different the Indian and African. So
there is some. I'm not sure. I forget what it is. It's minor. They still look like elephants.
African elephants have larger ears.
Ah, right.
Indian are smaller in general.
Yeah.
In size. Yeah, I'm not really sure.
They both got trunks, so.
Yeah, that's for sure. Okay, next one is the wildlife part. And there you can click through to some references to the Kruger National Park, which is a huge park in southern Africa, where you can drive for hours and hours without any sign of modern life. And I just love that place. It is it takes you to another dimension, really. And it's great. You can click on one of those images on the wall, and it will take you to a live safari program. Wow. So you can actually go to YouTube, and they have safaris early in the morning and in the evening, or sunset. They call it sunset.
Hopefully filming or photographing safaris and not shooting.
Oh God, yes.
No, definitely. So
no shooting. Yeah.
Okay. They go with their little 4x4s and just show what's the latest at a specific water hole or wherever they go that day. So it's really fun.
When our safari visit's on Wednesday, it's going to bring a whole new meaning to the visit, isn't it?
Yeah. That's for sure.
Real safari, yeah. Oh, and the ashram. Now we're in India, aren't we?
Okay, this one is jumping over to the India sim, the Shanti. It's called Shanti, and this is basically an ashram, which is a place of peace where you can do yoga and listen to peaceful music. Ashram has its own dedicated stream also, and it is now playing an Indian raga, so you can. I really love classical Indian music, so in the ashram, most of the time you will hear Indian classical music. Okay. And if you can see, this one is just a space to meditate.
Yep.
It's part of the ashram, and I'm planning to add a new area to the ashram called the mindfulness space. I am busy with someone from India who is teaching us about mindfulness, and I will add some info based on his classes.
Oh, great!
To this area. And
this is the patterns again, isn't it? The rag.
Yeah, this is the Indian patterns, the rangolis. Rang, that is color in Hindi. So rangoli is something very colorful. It's a colorful pattern. and you can take some of those images with you, and the images under the text Rangoli TV, you can click and you can watch how it's being made, so that you can learn.
Yeah, that's very cool.
So my
That is
plan
cool,
is
yeah.
that people will start doing these things, and it will bring some happiness to everyone when they start playing with the colors.
Nice. Maybe you can make films of their results too. So.
Yeah,
I love these buildings. Unfortunately, as you probably could tell when I was panning around on camera, I couldn't find a way in to get a close up.
Yes, actually,
photos. I just kept on coming across the curtain kind of thing that was a barrier for my camera. But
yeah, it was a bit tricky, but you can. It's phantom, so you can walk through it.
Yeah.
And it was a completely random thing that happened a few days ago. I don't know if you know Shen Tao, who is another very artful builder in on the Hypergrid. And I've known him for quite a while, from that other place. and I know that he loves India, and he has visited India quite a few times.
Yeah, he just came back.
Yes, he just came back, and he came back with amazing photos. And so I asked him if he would like to have a place on this theme called Shanti,
Nice.
because it would fit so nicely in with the whole idea and introduce people to different aspects of Indian life. And it is now available, so you can visit his island and check out his photos. He has amazing collection of photos about India.
Very
beautiful.
Lovely. Yeah.
Okay, and
Linux.
Yeah, this is yet another sort of aspect to what I have been busy with. And the story here is that back in South Africa, we started an open source internet cafe back in 2005. Actually, it started after 2000, but officially we opened it in 2005. And it ran Ubuntu, so we used Ubuntu for the cafe, and the idea was to teach people basic computer skills and to use OpenOffice, and teach them how to use the internet and things like that. And so I did that for about, yes?
Was this a conscious effort to promote open source as opposed to Windows and Mac and everything like that? It's obviously Linux is mostly open source, but
yeah, so it was definitely not only open source but open content. The idea that sometimes it's okay to share what you create and have fun collaborating. And also in Africa, it's not so easy for everyone to pay for software.
Yeah.
So it's important that you have other options too. And so we called it a cafe, even though you couldn't really get the best cappuccino, and so
you can try, but somehow it just doesn't taste right, does it?
Yeah. Now thinking back, we could have worked on that that also. But anyway, so the main feature of this cafe was something called the Freedom Toaster. And the Freedom Toaster was a little box, or not a little box. It was like what do you call those dispensers where you put in your money, and then you can get your sandwich.
I know what you mean. The yeah, the ones in my mind's gone blank. The ATM.
Oh, ATM.
Yeah, that sort of thing. And basically, what you could do, you could bring your own blank CDs and DVDs, and you could choose your own Linux distribution, and then you can burn it and take it home and install it. And this was an initiative by the Shuttleworth Foundation. that was in how do you say, they were helping different initiatives for quite a while in South Africa. Later on, Mark moved to the UK, and but they helped us to create this cafe. And so we had this Freedom Toaster, and people could take their Linux and install it on their own computers, and they could come to the cafe to learn how to use the software. You could imagine those days people were not really
Yeah.
sure what a mouse was and
Hmm.
why they have to click around.
Yeah, I was just thinking actually, as an aside from this, I mean, you know, people couldn't necessarily afford the software and they come to a cafe and everything else like that. But beyond the software, something I've always heard a lot about, though no first-hand experience of it, is in a lot of the more deprived areas, I guess Africa and maybe South Africa too. It's the internet has actually been of huge benefit because things like farmers no longer have to rely on middlemen. They can supply their goods because of they have phones and communications. They can deal directly up the chain, and there's a lot of.
Oh, I'm not sure. I don't know much about that, but interesting.
Okay, I just thought you
Yeah,
might. Okay, that sounded that's not the wolf actually, but yeah, but we will continue. We've got a bit more film and slideshow because we're sort of double length edition here, aren't we? Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So if you have more questions about this initiative, you can always Discord me or contact me. It was quite an interesting project, and we definitely plan to keep on doing similar things in the future, maybe in different forms.
Now, some vibes workshop. You had some nice stuff here. I think I picked up.
Yeah, so it's in the whole the idea that the cafe is based on is a sharing of things that we work on. So it's either scripts or textures or ideas or anything like that. So whenever I try to create something, then I put it in the workshop. So you can take a copy and you change it as you like. And you can see all kinds of things, scripts, you can see particle effects, you can see different HUDs. I'm working on a chill HUD that people can use in the ashram to learn about meditation, let's say, and they can find the HUD at the workshop once it's ready. And yeah, so there's all kinds of sections to this workshop, and it grows all the time. So you must come visit and take whatever you like.
And we'll see a bit more of that on the final film in a minute. Yeah. So.
Okay, is that all? I think that's all.
Is this? Let's have a double check. Oh, so it is. Okay, I was looking at the thumbnails and I thought you had two to go.
Yeah, I think I ran out of images.
Well, the final bit of film, of course, is when I actually went over to the Sun Vibes region. And I must say, I mean, both this logo and the logo we'll see at the very end, quite extraordinary. But yeah, let's get it playing. You'll see a close-up of the workshops. I forget how much close-up, but got about 6 minutes of film here, so final lot. There we are, and there's your other HUD, of course, which is
yes.
Yeah, nice little piece of quotation.
You can click on that little penguin to get to the cafe.
Oh, right. obvious icon to click on here.
That's basically the 3 sims that I am busy with.
Your teleport board to the 3 main areas, yeah.
Yeah.
And,
really, with all of this, I'm quite looking forward to the safari on Wednesday.
Yeah, so on during safari, we will spend about 30 minutes in the jazz club, and I will play you some very special jazz music from Johannesburg. And the second part we will spend with learning about music from other parts of Africa. So I hope you will enjoy that.
Oh, I will. I'm sure I
Nice.
will. And I will come back afterwards too. And maybe I have to
Oh,
mention that.
these are great.
And you said that you also worked on Mali on
Yes,
something. Uh-huh. I
yes,
I
that's not ready yet.
I built the city of Timbuktu
Hmm.
together with Siberia.
I
Mm,
think I've seen, I've
mm,
been there. I think so.
mm.
Mm-hmm.
I thought maybe
Yeah,
you
so
might be interested. Mm.
Yeah.
yeah, definitely. I could put a link to it.
Oh yeah. Oh
As
yeah, great.
yeah. So if you could make a board and with information, I could just stick it there in the landing area of the Africa
Oh,
sim.
oh, sure. Great. I will
Yeah, that
prepare
would be
one
great.
and send it to you.
Yes, please.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
That's, I don't know if you see that that's an open building. That building actually was created in 2008, and that is a little project I did in that other place. And I called that project Open Building, and I was basically teaching people how to create basic builds in
Mm-hmm.
Second Life. And these builds were mostly Africa related or India related builds. So while they were learning how to res a prim and how to uh, uh, change the shape or rotate and so on, they also ended up in the end with a Senegalese T-corner or
Mm.
a chakra emitter and other builds. So they could learn about something specific about India or Africa while they were learning
That's cool.
basic skills.
All this
Yeah.
stuff is intriguing. The stuff you've got to play with here for the particles. And
Yeah, the idea is to encourage
I love this
everyone
stuff.
to get creative.
We should have particles on the stage here every week, you know, just to confuse everybody.
Try some of those.
And also
I
you,
love that.
Sunny, do you build yourself or do you collect items also from everywhere?
Well, I collect also, and I'm busy learning Blender now, so
Oh,
I'm
Blender is a
able to
bitch, let
create.
me tell you.
It is
Blender.
actually I missed today's class,
Mm,
but definitely I have a long way to go.
mm,
But there's a lot now that I'm able to make. Like I'm trying to make those pottery from Mali,
mm,
and I'm learning how to add the patterns
mm,
after
mm,
creating the basic vase shape in Blender,
mm.
and it's fun. It's I hope I get to a place where I could complete
Blender
them properly.
Blender is wonderful, but it makes you it gets you. It's just highly addictive.
Hmm.
It
And
Blender.
i- it is really
it gives you a
yeah.
headache.
I just love it. I could work 10 hours without pause, without even taking a coffee in between in Blender.
Oh,
Yeah, there are those little um, tutorials that are, those few second,
Yeah,
few minute ones,
yeah.
and it teaches you a very cool trick, and you can go from one to the next,
Mm,
and can't stop for sure. It's
mm,
very addictive.
mm.
Yes.
That's why I said Blender is a bitch because it's so addictive. You start and you cannot stop anymore.
well, some would
Yeah,
say the other place and open sim itself. The old prim worlds are addictive too, in a way.
Oh
And
yeah, of
after
course.
a number of times, you just mangle the prim and
And I still like, prim buildings, but Blender really to me.
Yeah.
I'm at it now quite a few years.
I like
Uh,
both. I like
yeah,
to play with prims still. You can do so much with simple prims,
yeah.
Mhm.
and also Blender. So I don't care what it is. It's just fun to play with and create.
I
Do you
think
ever,
also
do
a
you,
combination of both is good.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes,
Yeah.
definitely. Yeah.
I was actually going to ask if you ever do. You can sort of build basic things with prims and link them together. Then you can export them as things like AOR, can't you? And then import them into
Hmm.
Blender, do work on them, and then bring them back. Have you ever done that, or is it strictly Blender in and Inworld prims?
I have seen tools in that other place that can convert things into a mesh form, I think.
Yeah.
But I don't know if you can then reconvert them back
Yeah, no,
into.
it can be done. Don't ask me to tell you the whole procedure, but but I was just curious whether you'd actually done that. So you sort of to and fro.
No, I have not really.
Yeah.
No.
That's like
It's
cheating.
nice. I love this logo here where you've just carved it out of board and just floating there. That actually is that Blender brought in, or is that prims?
Yes, that's just a simple text from Blender. Yes.
Yeah, yeah, it's
And then
lovely.
I found sunflower from OS Grid. What is that? Encantada, that shop.
Oh yes, I
I
know.
think
Yeah. I think
I
that's
think
the
it's
name.
from there.
Encantada, I think.
And then I don't know where I picked up the penguins, but if I see a
Oh,
Tux penguin, of course I pick it up.
it's,
Mhm.
And
it's
then I just
Linux, isn't it?
I
Yeah,
just drop them all over the letters.
Yeah,
yeah.
that's cool.
Good way to advertise Linux,
Oh
really.
yeah, I see them now.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's the final frame there on that. So we're at the end of all our sort of visual stuff and whatever. And as you heard, something was chirping a little while ago, telling me that we're out of time. But it's a sort of double show.
Ah, yes, that's what that was.
Yeah.
Mm.
Well, you're lucky. It's normally a wolf or a dog. A bear basically needs feeding, you see. So you hear this roaring noise and you think, oh, God, we've got to go off and feed him. Bye bye, everybody. Right. Okay. But that's absolutely great. So let's, we're going to start rounding up. Let's go to both of you in turn, actually. Kashi first, maybe. In only a very few words, but hopefully. Future plans? Anything coming up that you're anxious to promote, talk about quickly?
I think continue as we are running at the moment. It would be nice to have some more artists and people that can contribute, like Sunshine, for example, because I think that one of the main goals of our grid to educate and people and to make a nice environment where you can enjoy virtual.
Mhm.
All right. Well, I was impressed, I must say, jumping around. And Sunny, anything special and new you want to get in?
Yeah, I would like to thank Kashi again for providing me with that space, and it has been so much fun to create and log in every day and carry on with the designs and the ideas. And apart from that, I also suggest people check Shen Tao's theme called Tonglen.
Yes, very
Tonglen.
nice. Yeah.
It's a very special theme, and it is really a must-see.
And it's
So
on Kashi's grid, yeah?
Yes, same
Yeah.
grid, same grid.
It will be on the board soon. So
Right.
and real life kicked in this afternoon when I was making pictures. So and I totally forgot to also make some shots of his region, because it's also a great same as Cherry and Avia. Shen makes also great regions. So of course I want to thank Sunshine for adding and contributing those nice regions.
Well, having looked
You
at
make.
Very welcome.
having looked at the other regions there, I'm sure we'll dig up some more creators to come on the show from your grid. You know, so yeah.
All are welcome.
Tosha,
Yes.
any more questions before we?
No, but I want to make a remark, and that is a thank you to both Sunny and Kashi to bear with me and my maybe somewhat personal question that I ask you, and I want to thank you for a very, very interesting contribution that you made.
Right, my pleasure.
Oh, you're very welcome.
Yes.
Thank you for inviting us.
And I see that James has been taking a tip from Kashi here and
That's
going
right.
topless.
Yeah, Kashi will be my sensei.
Yes,
Hello,
I saw
sensei.
that. I thought my eyes were,
Well,
making
Yes, I was
joking on
wondering
me.
what happened.
I've only just noticed because now the show's sort of over. I pulled my camera back. I can see
But James, frankly,
I'm
you have to better your physical form.
I know.
Yeah,
I know.
I'm happy he did, because now I'm not alone. So
Yeah, that's right.
So yeah, I was just going to say, James, any final thoughts?
No, just I absolutely enjoy these builds, and I love the connections to the real world and the inspirations that you bring in and realize into very exciting and engaging content. It's wonderful.
Happy you liked it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, I'm going to wrap it up. So I'd like to thank Kashi. Thank you, Kashi.
my pleasure.
I'd like to thank Sunny. Thank you, Sunny.
Very welcome.
And of course, my co-host Tosha. Thank you, Tosha.
Always a pleasure, James. Mel, sorry.
I know it's hard, isn't it?
Mm.
and also,
I'm so blinded by James' nakedness that I couldn't think about it.
I'm not naked. I'm not naked.
Well, almost naked.
I don't actually think this mesh avatar can do that. Oddly enough, but
Right.
I'm not inclined to anyway.
He can leave his hat on.
Too much of a pot belly these days. Right. Okay. Well, yep. Thanks, James, for all the knob fiddling and everything else. So, I wish you all a very good morning, a very good afternoon, a very good evening, and indeed a good tomorrow.
Yes.
Depending on wherever and whenever you are. And we're out of here.
Thanks a lot, Paul, Sunshine, James, and Tosha.
One special thing I have to